Yeah.
All right. All right.
Put down the barbed wire and everything.
Yeah. Let's see. Audio mixer. You know I'm not going to be comfortable till this freaking delay ends, and I'm like, all right, what's wrong now?
Yeah.
So right now your audio
exactly.
is good. HLL is good. Guys that are hearing us, yo, Pat, maybe you want to, so I don't feel like I'm the only one that's freaking. How many times did OBS freeze, honestly?
3 or 4.
At least 3-4 times.
Mm-hmm.
And for no damn good reason. I mean.
Yeah, we can't figure out what's causing it. I mean, we thought we had it solved.
Yeah, I thought it was when you stream OBS Ninja with Discord, it would freeze if you change, like, because I got 2 monitors. I got one set up for the game on the left, and my right is my OBS. So, you know, when I switch
your scenes. It's whenever you switch scenes from the game to the
other second monitor.
Yeah, everything just like freezes up. But then it started happening when it went from the studio to the game. Like, it worked fine for a couple of transitions, then you go from studio to game and everything got screwed up. So, shit. Like, we can't figure it out. For a while, like, you know, I'm sharing my camera and my game through 2 separate Video Ninjas. We figured, like, there actually is a warning that it will freeze OBS if I don't keep those windows visible. I have them split on my screen. That solved it for a while, but then it just started screwing up again.
What is the lesson to be learned from this whole? Keep it simple. I don't know.
Yeah, keep it simple. It would be nice if, like, OBS would just make the program work.
Yeah, you seem to think the what is it? The Stream Deck might have, like, the updates might have a little issue.
Yeah, Stream Deck sometimes breaks OBS. You know, they'll do an update and it just suddenly your scenes stop doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. I catch wreck in the freaking chat, man, when my shit goes down. Those GBI boys are ruthless. Shout out to my boy Icon, man. Icon just rips me apart. He's ruthless.
Yeah. Hey, we're at 98 players. We're gonna see a map flip real soon. We are live, right?
Yes, we are live. We are live on the delay. 30-minute. Yes, for those of you guys tuning in. Syndicate taking on 116th Greyhounds. Greyhounds are a German team, German powerhouse team. I'm going to say that right now in their current form, they are the #1 team in Europe. They beat a spree recently on Hurricane Forest 4-1. I think the only team that's actually beat them. Now, granted, it was a scrimmage, Pep, nothing, you know, like a major tournament, but anybody who beats a spree, that's one you hang on the notch or hang on your belt and say, you know, we're pretty damn good. So Syndicate is going to be facing probably 1 or 2. You can flip them. You can say who's the best. But what do you think? I mean, you've been out of comp.
I mean,
first of all, welcome. Damn it, we didn't even have the whole, you know, welcome, you know, surprise. It just, you know. But anyway, dude, welcome back.
Yeah.
Your Rust bum?
It's been, yeah, I know, man. I've been hooked on Rust. It's oldie but a goodie. 15-year-old game, still updating every month, still putting out new content. They just did a huge world update. I mean, what a fantastic game. It took me right away from Helo Loose. And so I'm back just for a cameo cast this week. We'll see if you guys can keep me around. But I have been out of touch. From what I understand, this is game 2 in the Hell Let Loose competitive association.
Yes, sir. I'm going to pull up the standings real quick, just for those. So we're just showing the stats from earlier today. There was a match. GBI played Refuse, and GBI came out the victor, dropping Refuse to the 1-1, as well as Climber. You'll be happy to know Climber is really IR. They've rebranded again for like the 4th time. Chimera is also a loser today, 1-1. Or no, I'm sorry. My apologies. They were in the 0-1 category. They beat Phoenix on Remagen. Can you believe Remagen's being played?
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I didn't think that would come up in a map ban.
Yeah. We'll talk about the whole map banning and how the custom layout kit has changed certain maps that were just like never ever going to make the map ban phase. That came out in 15.2. I don't know how many patches you've been away, but that came out about a patch ago. So it's a new feature.
So when I left, when Hell Let Loose was sold to Team 17, I
so
stand
early
by the
23
original developer.
Matter.
And it's about a year, maybe a little over a year ago, a year and a half ago, where I stopped casting and playing altogether. So I played a match this morning. I ended up top infantry killer on the team, but I still think the game is broken, very broken. We're seeing there's a few glitches that are really unfortunate, and Artie is still broken.
Thank you for saying that. You tried to remedy it with your Artie snipes and make it less powerful. Again, who knows? There's a new roadmap coming up in 2025, and they did take a lot of the feedback that the war correspondents, I'm in the war correspondents channel on the official Hell Let Loose Discord, and we put out like a slew of different suggestions, and hopefully in 25, first quarter, we get to know what they're actually working on, because right now it's just a mystery. We know that we're getting Elsenborn Ridge, we're getting the free look, we're getting some skins much needed on the tanks for the maps that contain snow, but outside of that, your guess is as good as mine. Nobody knows what the future looks like.
What I would want to see as an experienced player in the game, I've played at the top level competitive teams. I've been to several season finals, both in seasonal, HCA, like all the leagues. I've been among the best players in the league. And so, from my opinion, to fix this game, free look is a really good step in the right direction, but also we need to get rid of the arty guns and replace it with a mortar system where it's a shorter range. Players need to set it up, move around. And that would definitely balance out, I think, the competitive gameplay a little bit better.
I agree with you,
We are seeing a map up here. I think we're actually going into the game now. So let's...
How is it West Vierville? Did they not agree to this?
West Vierville. That's going to be the center point.
I thought it was the church. Hold up, man. This is all jacked up.
No, West Vierville. I'm pretty sure it's West Vierville.
I got to explain to you. I got to explain to you what's going on actually. What is the top point? Is it Dog Red? What is it? I can't see. I didn't get in game yet.
West Vierville.
Allied side, because they're literally spawned in heavy. What is that top one?
So Dog Green.
Dog Green,
the top one. Yeah,
just hold it down. I'm setting up the I should have gave this to you actually when I think about it. Dog Green is the top. Then the second one we have WN71 as our fourth defending, and then our attacking will be
Dog
Church
Green,
Road.
Dog White on the bottom, and the middle point. I can't remember the name of the middle point for allies, but yeah, we got Dog White in the first sector, WN71, West Vierville, Church Road, and Crossroads is our layout.
All right, I am set up now. Let me join. What armor squad should I join? My God, I can't even join an armor. You
shouldn't join armor, right? You should be joining.
No, they usually tell me to join armor, but you know what? I'm just going to join.
Take an armor squad, like an extra. Yeah.
And they'll just boot me out. I'll be in no squad.
Yeah.
All right. No fucking way. All right, there we go.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and hover over the barrier here in the opening. Going to see where the trucks are setting up. Looks like we've already got the nodes, 3 sets of nodes up, and for those of you who are not familiar with the competitive scene, these teams are very coordinated. Right at the beginning of the match, before the barrier even drops, all the nodes are built, all the trucks are on the front line. Squad leaders dropping OPs next to the transports, so everybody who is building nodes can just redeploy and spawn right next to the transports. They have their routes ready. We've got 2 recon tanks up and running on the Axis side, ready to go, and light tank.
Want to pull up maps so we can get a look and
I got
see?
my map open. Yeah.
All right, let's hit that because we do have the dual maps. Hopefully, this all works out.
We got 2 light tanks on the north side, 2 recon tanks going up the middle. And we've got a medium tank down at Crossroads, ready to go. I believe they do not have a heavy spawned until a couple minutes into the match, where the the fuel has ticked up to the right amount. So typically competitive teams will sacrifice one of the light tanks and the recon tanks right at the beginning, go deep, try to get rid of those opening garrisons, and then that crew will take the first heavy when it comes in. So here we are, 3, 2, 1, and the shield drop. All the trucks going up in unison. Looks like we've got a real nice 4 squares front line deploying out. And you see this in the competitive teams as well. They're not just crowding the strong point. They understand that you need to control the entirety of the map and form a front line that stops anybody from coming in across the whole map. And then there will be 1 or 2 squad leaders that check that deep flank around the backside and make sure that they're not getting any kind of flanky garrisons going on.
How are you doing on snipes over there, Pep? Everybody loves them. Those snipes off the jump.
Yeah,
caught anything?
We're not going to see any snipes quite yet. We're about 200 meters away from seeing snipes land. Syndicate vehicles just reaching into the sector now. Squad leaders dropping out. Viking Nova, all these guys are placing their OPs. Same thing happening on the side. We got snipes leaving around the church in the south side. And, oh, that's a flare. Flare's going up on the south. They're going to see Lord Stratos and evac squads on the south side. We got 1 vehicle already going down on the Axis side. Looks like that was, I think, a truck. Yeah, it was a transport that got destroyed on the south side. And here we have a fight over mid. Looks like allies are winning the midpoint for cap weight. However, Greyhounds is now deploying on their OPs that were deployed right off the opener here, so we may see this cap race even out. You know, it's pretty tough to tell who's winning the weight here, but it's looking to me like there's actually more players from Greyhounds in strong point.
Yeah.
Now.
They prioritize the strong point, whereas Syndicate is looking north. It's pretty even right now. Ooh, was a light, I believe, that went down. I'm going to double check to make sure. Was it the
right over top of it? I'll let you know. Smoke's clearing, and looks like, yeah, that was a Luke's tank that got destroyed.
Okay.
Limit taking that out with his AT.
Let's talk teams for a second, Pep, real quick. Can you jump in? Allies are going to be the Syndicate boys, while the Germans will be 116, and that was a German tank that just got wasted in the north. And Syndicate creeping up on that early cap 3-2. A little bit of a shock for you?
The infantry game is showing that really it's a bit of a surprise, but I think that because they have so many vehicles, Syndicate has their armored squads, which is 3 guys each in the zone. That's where they're getting the cap weight. They have better presence, and there's a flip right there as the already starts landing in the front point now, taking out a pretty big cluster of Syndicate players. So now Greyhounds is going to be playing for that recap. I'd like to check the maps here real quick and just have a look at the garrison locations. Syndicate has a real nice garrison network spanning the entire map. OPs are back up, and that right there is a real good sign of a solid team. When the point gets capped, squad leaders are ready, and those OPs, they all get wiped when the point is captured. Everything that's in the red zone, it gets completely wiped out. So those OPs being up already is a sign that they were all ready for it, and they're still in the game. This is not going to be a momentous push toward Church Road. They're going to keep fighting over West Vierville for the foreseeable future.
I'll say this, Pep. Whenever I've seen Syndicate, and they beat IR most recently in the APL on this, they had the same exact point to the north, West Vierville. It took all match, but to me, ball game is E3. If Syndicate can somehow get 1/16th out of E3, it's a really, really tough take from Axis.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're still seeing all the OPs are up. It looks like Syndicate really is holding that north village, though, where the road loops around. There's no spawn points for Greyhounds in the north right now, right on the edge of the map. And so Syndicate is going to use that foothold to wedge themselves into the zone and push Greyhounds out of the zone from the north.
How's tank play looking on your side? We've got a light on the point proper and backing that up. Actually, we have 2 lights.
Yeah, I've got a Luke's right in the midpoint.
Just went
here.
down. Luke's just went down by the east.
One of them. There still is a Luke's a little bit further north of that in the orchard, just outside Strong Point. And he's just sitting here covering the 4 corners where the road intersects. So I'm getting a huge frame dump. Again, I guess this is still a glitch that hasn't been fixed by our AAA studio, where sometimes you will have these major frame dumps and everything drops to like 10 frames per second. And I got a PC that's no joke here. You know, like this is running on a 3090 for the Win 3 Ultra, you know, huge video card, and typically I get about 160 frames a second. So when it drops to 9 frames a second, that's definitely not me. It's part of the. I think it's happening across the whole game. Are you getting the frame dump right now?
I can confidently say I am good for the moment. Don't jinx me with that. I don't want any of your bad juju on my side. But Syndicate temporarily losing north control, and mid-cap is fluctuating back and forth, and this is just a great back and forth battle.
Yeah, I'm seeing a few OPs. We got a recon OP and a couple squad OPs taking that north edge again. So we've got a medium tank holding that south flank of the cap point. First heavies should just be approaching the cap zone now. So you're going to see probably a Jumbo 76 rolling up the red road or somewhere in the 4 column. They might have taken the north side of the map, but we're seeing our first Tiger now come out in the E3 column here, and he's going to be joining the fray very soon. And this is where everything really kicks off, and we can see which team is going to take mid next, now that all the players, all the pieces are on the map.
Seeing a little bit of cap progress, or at least contesting on 1/16th, 4th. I think it's wise of Syndicate to relieve some of the pressure, to at least throw one YOLO squad back there, see if they can force a redeploy, because these Greyhounds are relentless. These guys are going to keep coming. But artillery, wow, in the north.
Oh yeah, wow. That north artillery is really holding that small compound of buildings on the north edge of the map. But yeah, definitely Greyhounds is doing their best to push through that north side and stop Syndicate from wedging themselves in. Beginning of the game, Syndicate really did have a good grip on that north edge, but that was quickly identified by the Greyhounds, and they're counterattacking really well, just trying to time their spawns between the artillery here. Artillery is holding down that north OP placement.
Yeah, the compound north is everything, I think, to this map, because if Syndicate removes that presence north, then everything comes from the south, because everything that will be coming from the Greyhound side is through open fields and cornfields. So I don't know if they want to prioritize some of the and some of their tanks. It's hard to tell. It's so early in the match because it's flux. You know, the point is constantly in flux. You don't know if you're winning. You know, do you keep more guys on the hard cap? Like, it's crazy.
We may be seeing the Athens tank, the medium allied tank going down the north side here. It is trying to hold that compound at this moment, but we have the Axis heavy tanks now turning their view towards that north side. He is kind of holding crossroads right now, but we got one hit on Athens tank in the north, and if that tank goes down, Greyhounds might be able to finish taking this north sector here. It looks like they're still just kind of divided by the road. I'm going to get a little bit closer here. Still with my 5 frames per second. Absolutely egregious.
Let me know when you're actually cleaned up. That way we can maybe get a little side by side.
Yeah, I'm going to get my camera nice and close here. Still able to see all the infantry, but you can just see how separated both the teams are by this main road in the middle. The sight lines just don't let too many people cross, and as soon as you hop that fence, you're face to face with everything, tanks, infantry, and that medium tank just holding on by a thread here. Doctor just got another rocket to the front chest plate of that. It's a light tank.
It's light, correct.
Actually, I thought Athens was in the medium.
Yeah, I was looking for that medium.
I don't light tank.
Still light tank.
So yeah, that's Stewart backing up. He's smoking, but if one more rocket hits that guy, that tank will go down. And looks like Boy Butter is making his way on top of a wall. We're going to see a rocket come at him pretty soon.
He's in the top.
And Athens is out trying to repair.
Ooh, Satchel takes him down.
Yeah, just in time. Doctor gets another rocket off and kills the tank. So there we go. And the bombing run coming in now. Going to wipe out Syndicate. Well, I think it's Syndicate bombing run wiping out. Yeah, wiping out the German team.
And
but it didn't take out quite
we have 116th now coming in. You can hear it. Hear the rumbling. Where's 116th?
Oh, and there's a counter bombing run. Yep, 116. Now, 116's bombing run looks really effective. It's taken out all the infantry in that north. We've got two squad leaders left for Syndicate, Milk and Titus. And if they can hang on.
Syndicate losing its grip on
evened out.
The north.
Yeah, we got progress now. Looks like Greyhounds have made their way into the strong point, and that north side is starting to fold. Titus is pushing forward, and Milk, I think, getting his OP up behind the wall. So let's see if they can hang on tight. That tank in the north getting lost, though, definitely a huge hit to Syndicate. And we're seeing the heavy tanks from Greyhounds holding mid, keeping that four-way crossing clear.
Yeah, this is looking real promising. We've got two tanks, we've got a light, and we've got the heavy Tiger sitting, I want to say, just outside of the cap to the west. Not in the strong point itself.
Rocket snipes landing just behind the building where all the OPs are set up on the north side for Greyhounds. There's a second rocket landing right next to Ditzel's point there. Strafing runs coming over. Looks to me like Greyhounds have taken the north compound and put Syndicate back to the other side of the orchard. Now they're all relying on spawning at that back garrison. So this might, I mean, we're just starting to see cap progress again from the Greyhounds. We might see them take the point here if Syndicate can't regain control of the north.
Not without tank support in there. One tank. They got a medium, no, a heavy, excuse me. We have Bob sitting north in F3. Lock on with him.
Yeah, we got Jumbo 76 backing up the orchard and the garrison on the north side for Syndicate here. That's commanded by Super Stupor.
Artillery is locked in on that tank, by the way. They took out the repair station. They're taking out the inf, trying to support.
And there is some spawn points there that's locking down as well. We just saw another wave come in. So that already just zeroed in on... Ooh, takes out a big group of Syndicate guys. Yeah, that already being zeroed in there is huge. It's going to prevent that heavy tank from being able to repair safely. But he does need to hold that position.
Down.
And that heavy tank goes down. Wow. Yep, that's a big loss right there. We're going to see Greyhounds,
it's a matter of time,
start their momentum now. Yep, it's just a matter of time before Greyhounds caps this point. They have pushed across the road. The fight is now pretty heavily on the east side of the road.
My scoreboard. Hang on, Pep. Keep talking. For some reason, you know, why not, right? Everything when it doesn't work. I had everything programmed up and everything was good, but apparently
it's still just not doing what you want it to do. Hey?
Well, actually, it says it's there. Now it changed. Figure it out. I don't get it, brother. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still seeing 4 frames per second, but this slideshow is giving me a bit of a story about what's happening. It looks like the Greyhounds have pushed all across the road now. They have control of the center, and they're going to keep pushing that front line through the buildings. Looks like Syndicate just holding on by a thread here. There is a little bit of cap progress on Church Road.
Seeing that.
But not enough to outweigh mid right now. So the cap progress at mid being contested, we might actually want to switch over to Church Road real soon here. If you want to get the overrun Church Road, I'll stay at mid since I have no frames.
This is
moving is a little difficult, but we might actually start paying attention to what's happening at Church Road. If Greyhounds can't cap mid and keep that pressure up, Syndicate may end up actually outcapping 4-1.
They just contested, and they're
fourth.
actually defending. Greyhounds are defending fourth, which is Church Road. Syndicate has just one squad leader back there. You know, that did buy them some time. Maybe they got to redeploy.
Squad leaders spawning at the Church Road strong point, so that's where that counter cap is coming. But here we go. We're back in the momentum on the cap at mid. Greyhounds keeping the pressure up. They did not do a fallback call. We're still seeing that pressure being applied on the north side. Artillery still locking down the spawn points for Syndicate, and yeah, this might just be a turnaround.
I think it's looking that way. They have 1/16th, that is. They've got their light looks, their tiger up in the strong point on Church, or excuse me, not Church, on West Vierville. This is looking real strong for 1/16. I can almost say Syndicate is probably thinking, let's play for the flip at this point, because they are being overwhelmed.
Yep, for sure. We're seeing these squads push deep into Syndicate territory now. Not a lot left over. We're seeing squad leaders run across fields for Syndicate on the east side of the point. And when you're having to run across open fields to get your outposts back into the zone, that's a sign that you've definitely lost control on mid. And we should be seeing Syndicate now getting ready to set up to defend WN71. Have their garrisons up and ready to play for recap, because this, I think, is definitely going to 1/16th.
Oh, it is, for sure.
30 seconds. Yep.
And like you said, on a flip, all OPs are wiped, which means squad leaders need to be prepared for that. And it's just about official. We got only a few more seconds.
Yeah, here it comes. And there's the point.
And maybe my scoreboard will actually work. There we go. It worked.
Let's look at the map again and see just how quickly Syndicate gets their OPs back up.
Full map
in the zone.
And we'll take a peek.
I'm looking at 1/16th front line. Garrison's already being placed at mid. We've got one in the bottom of the 4 column. It's not going to leave a lot of room at the top of the map. We got the E3, so not going to be any garrisons in the line that splits 3 and 4 for 1/16th. Because it will be ranged out by these garrisons unless they have something a little bit more forward to get that extra 20 or so meters that they're going to need.
You weren't kidding, by the way, with your frame rate being about 3.
It literally is 3. It is literally 3 FPS on my counter here. This is I don't know what is going on, but I mean, it was fine all morning.
Yeah, it is what it is, right? I mean,
yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it the way it is. So yeah, garrison's back down. Actually, garrison in the south got taken out. Heavy tank is rolling up in the south for 1/16th. We've got a recon tank just sitting with a single crew member in the E8. And looks like squad leaders are starting to set up in the south, or I guess middle of the map around the chapel.
Yeah,
and they're going to try
F5.
to set up some garrisons at chapel to push WN71, while the front line just keeps holding at the village here at West Vierville.
I will say Syndicate is trying their best to come in through the top of the 3. There's a large contingency of Syndicate players. I don't like that. To me, that's a hold up there. I don't think 1/16th is really interested in going across that open field. And I'm thinking more of it should be south.
All 1/16 has to do is hold that open field. They only need a few guys to do that. Looks like Syndicate is split with 2 front lines, right? So you got half the team up in the north trying to cross an open field, and then the other half of the team trying to fight over Chapel right now and get a southern foothold to push north into West Vierville. So 1/16th just looking pretty. They just need to hold those open fields. It looks like Alex on the MG just being able to get up in that high window and really hold down anybody trying to cross into the sector, while the rest of the team is just going to push south through that chapel area.
For me, I think it's Syndicate realizing we can divert or reallocate some of our players in the 3, the north, and bring them south. If they're not careful, and 1/16th decides to change up tactics and take the south and really control it, Syndicate will be completely boxed out, and I don't think there's a way in, you know, especially with 1/16th being the talented players that they are. And that's what I'm seeing happen right now. I'm seeing 1/16th making a big effort to control the cluster of houses to the south. And I'm not hearing you, Pep, but you could be restarting your computer. Okay. I thought you might have just bailed out to restart it and see if you can get more than 3 frames.
Troubleshoot my frame here. Yeah, so we're up to 12, but no, it still shows. I mean, here's the thing: is it shows that I'm only utilizing 28% of my GPU, maybe 25%. It kind of jumps around, but 7 FPS, and my CPU only 20%. So it's definitely not that I'm overtaxing the system here. It's just a known bug with Helo Loose that usually goes away after a few minutes, but I'm stuck with it. I am seeing 1/16th. I continue to just hold that north side of the map. There's really no need for them to push any further on that north side. They just have to stop the squad leaders and the infantry from crossing those open fields. And it appears like they are beginning to get a good foothold around the chapel, and they're going to be pushing through that south part of the village to establish a front line on WN71. However, no infantry, no tanks, no action at all in the WN71 zone yet. They are going to be careful to move the front line up in unison. They're not going to try to get any kind of airheads or crazy huge flanks and split up their front line. They're just going to want to push right through. So Syndicate is basically just playing to hold the line right now, and that's how it really is the smart way to go. The next big point that Syndicate is going to want to hold on to, since they've lost the chapel at this point, is where the roads converge south of West Vierville. You've got your dog green exit off the beach that comes up to a small lower village, and we've got a couple of squad leaders down there, but 1/16th is starting now to take that zone. And once they take that zone, it gives them a few avenues to start surrounding WN71 through the north. It'll split the Syndicate team in half, because now they can push north and take out the guys trying to cross open fields, and then they are able to subsequently push south into WN71. And we also see squad leads on that south part of the village setting up in some of these occupiable buildings. And yeah, they're really just kind of splitting Syndicate in half.
Yeah, you can clearly see that the 4-5 is clear with just one OP, and most of the inf is down in the 6 with a garrison trying to come up the main road. And again, I'll say it, G3 loaded with OPs. I mean, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 OPs with a heavy tank. So I'm just curious if that was...
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at your squad leader, Original K, moving up the mid here, trying to take back this low village. That front line area, and guys like Lord Jax, Evac, and looks like Lucid in the south. This fight for that southern front line is so crucial to Syndicate right now. You don't want too many OPs in the north. You just need a couple guys to hold, make sure you don't get completely wrapped. But with 1/16 holding that lower village and starting to push through the middle of the Syndicate front line, it's going to be really damaging to their position. They may get pushed back to the beach if 1/16 can continue to push in through that middle area and effectively just dismantle their front line from the mid.
We're already seeing it happen real time. I mean, we're just watching Syndicate get walked down after a really good start. I think, what do you think was the key play to where Syndicate started losing their grip on midpoint? Was it the tank going down? Was it the well-placed Artie?
having the heavy tank going down really was the nail in the coffin, right? When they lost their 76 on that north side, first they lost their light tank that was really holding the infantry back, but then when they lost that jumbo, that's pretty much when everything just started to fold, and I don't think that they had a good enough foothold on that north village on the edge of the map. And it's really tough to get anything back without tank support and without having OPs, at least at the orchard. Once you get pushed back across those open fields, there's really no coming back from that. And you need a very strong presence around Chapel to push north from the midpoint. Because retaking it across open fields just isn't going to happen. Once you get pressure on the south and you're able to kind of distract the team on the south, you can send a couple of squad leaders to sort of just crawl through the wheat field and try to take that north side again. But I mean, it's not going to happen en masse, and they've just allowed 116 to extend their front line way south. However, we are seeing some promising flanks. We've got Shea Tax moving his way through Chapel now.
Yeah, he's making his way to the church. Keep your eyes open for any whammo garrisons that they could put up behind. Obviously, a double drop. Ooh, a fresh spawn just came in, so he's about to go down. Doctor gets his man. Ditzel doing with a...
Ooh.
After
we're back to 30 FPS. 30 FPS. The FPS drop is not so bad now. That's good. I'm back in it here. So yeah, looking at the map, solid front line. We've got 2 heavy tanks on the field, 3 heavy tanks on the field. We got one in the north, is commanded by Sengir in the F3. We've got another one in the E4, just holding the south side of West Vierville, and we've got one just north of the church.
Look at the amount of pressure they're putting in the 5 and the 6 right now, Pep.
Yeah, north of the church.
They're literally going to walk Syndicate out.
Yeah, I mean, they've really established their
G6
front line between the 2 active sectors, and they're going to start pushing WN71. We did just miss a Axis precision strike. How's your armor looking? It looks like the Jumbo 76 just hanging on by a thread here. I think that was where the precision strike landed.
Yeah, up north in the 3, I believe.
Super's Jumbo.
G3 is where we've got one heavy. Checking the map for any others. I'm not seeing. Got a light or medium, excuse me, coming off the beach currently, and there's a backup 7.6 in H3. So they've got 2 tanks, heavies up in the 3, with one
let's
medium
see if Fred
coming
takes
off
out
the
this
beach.
heavy. Fred is right behind the heavy here as an AT kit. Looks like Super Stuper still repping the tank from the grid, from the track here, and Fred goes down. So this Jumbo 76 is going to hang on, but they do have a flare up. I think they're going to see all the infantry surrounding it there. So that tank's going to hang on for a minute. And the front line for 116 really starting to gain territory. Like I said, in that low ground, that road that split up the front line for Syndicate here. They've really wedged themselves in the middle there, and they're starting to get some pressure from the north of WN71 as well as from the west. And we're seeing squad leaders now push north and trying to clear out that Syndicate presence on West Vierville from the south. So if that heavy tank goes down, if that Jumbo 76 goes down, looks like they're
missing one crew.
Their commander has died. Yeah, he was out there repairing. He must have got hit by arty or grenades or infantry. But if that tank disappears, then they're going to lose their foothold in the north here, and that's where everything really is going to fold. But if that tank can stay up, and they have a garrison, I don't know if you have any garrisons in the G3, but if there is a garrison there, so that tank commander can get back.
We do.
Looks like, yeah, there is. He just spawned in now, so he's going to try to make his way back to the tank. As long as that tank stays there, they have a shred of hope to try to retake that West Vierville point, and it's going to keep the 2 heavies that are defending West Vierville
locked in.
Looks like we've got one in F3 and one in E4. They're going to have to stay there until that Jumbo 76 has been confirmed destroyed. And once that Jumbo 76 goes down, those 2 heavy tanks can just freely move themselves across the north of the map, and I think it'll be over for the Syndicate. So
Pep,
really important.
Jump in real quick.
Tank stays up.
Want to do a quick recap on how it all started. Even start, pretty
Rocket's
much.
Hitting that 76, by the way. But yeah, go ahead. Recap on how it started.
How it started. Syndicate and 116th. A nice clean start for both teams. Syndicate was able to capture our midpoint, West Vierville, off the start reasonably comfortably. They only able to hold it for a few minutes. I mean, that's when we saw some really nice artillery strikes and tank play from 116th. They regained West Vierville within 5 minutes of the cap, and we're sitting here 3-2 now for about the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. Looks like we got bombing run coming down. This is a allied bombing run, trying to take out some of the 116th players at mid. Supplies also dropping for the allies, and they're going to try to get another garrison up between the 2 points here. We've got gray cap progress on WN71. It looks like 116 is really starting to push the envelope on that 4th point.
They're in soft cap. G4 they own, and it just soft cap.
Fred just got another rocket into that Jumbo 76. That Jumbo 76 is backing up. I think this might be it for Syndicate in the north side. This tank is half dead right now. He just needs one more rocket in a soft spot, and it's over. We do have, however, a AT gun, I think, set up. Oh, it's the second Jumbo 76. We've got one back in the H3. Just playing the long game here. So that might actually save your 76 that's in the north edge of the map. So Syndicate, these 2 tanks is really, really important for Syndicate, for them to hold those 2 tanks alive in the north, and that might help them push back into the zone. And again, as long as there's allied tanks holding that north, the Axis can't move their Tigers.
So they will stay locked. So we need to shift focus down in the 5 then, because if the 3-4 is just going to be a stalemate, more or less. If Syndicate's not careful, don't allocate enough resources to the 5-6 and push their front door out, because right now they're locked in the H. They can't move forward.
We do have 2 Tiger tanks right now in the 6, in F6 on the road. We got 2 Tiger tanks moving south, and they're going to start pushing this front line in W71. So there is 1 Tiger left in F3 to hold off those 2 Jumbo 76s.
Who is that crew by? Is that Peasy? Because I'm on Peasy's.
Let's see.
Oh, we've got 2 back to back. I just locked on.
Yeah, that's right.
2 Tigers. Looks like they're heading south. Again, map control, right? Moving down to where Syndicate has its garrison, front door in G6, and a lot of inf.
Sendgear has his Tiger up in West Vierville still, and that's going to be, he's not going to move that tank. He's just going to keep it there to hold off those 2 Jumbos, while these 2 Tigers in the south, I mean, they're going to push through if they can find the garrison and help the infantry push in. We've got a bombing run coming up in front of them right now, too, and that's going to be, I think, cap progress starting on WN71. So these 2 heavy tanks need to get taken care of, or Syndicate, I mean, this is where they start to get really crushed. Yep, 2 heavy tanks together, 2 Tigers. That's bad news for Syndicate.
I guess the only positive could be that they're not in the open, so they are somewhat vulnerable being locked into those lanes where you could possibly get a satchel. If not on the tank directly, you can get it against the wall and it can blow it up. I believe the splash will destroy the Tiger.
Yep.
But I don't think the inf's gonna.
Satchels next to the tanks, definitely.
Yeah, I don't think 116th is gonna abandon their tanks. They're just such smart players. They know the value.
No, they're keeping their infantry around them for sure. And those tanks, they're just not moving. They're gonna stay on that road and just hold those angles while the infantry makes progress. We do have a squad. Deucentry is leading this squad, and they've pushed pretty deep into WN71. And they're approaching a garrison right now that just popped off 4 guys. Or is that an outpost? I think that might be an outpost. Yep, it is a allied outpost. That could go down pretty soon here. But, I mean, Syndicate holding on by a thread here. What's going on in the north? Looks like not a whole lot of infantry presence from 116 in the north. They're still struggling, though, to completely clear Syndicate off that north side of the map. Syndicate has a couple of guys. Looks like a Jumbo 76 just went down right at the edge of the map in the north, and that's not good.
And we have another, the G5 76 is taking shots currently.
Is there any tank presence for allies in the north?
I don't believe so. Yes, there is nothing in the north except the one defensive 76 in H4, which is now moving south to help out on WN71, which is currently getting capped.
Yeah, and
Syndicate's
that cap progress
shrinking.
started. Yeah, that cap progress started immediately after that north side Jumbo 76 went down, just like I predicted. As soon as those tanks fall, 116 can turn their attention south because they don't have that threat of armor pushing the north. However, they're still leaving a few infantry to cover those open fields to make sure those squad leaders don't get in.
Pepper, I need you to check
G4.
G4. G4, I think there's a garrison, I want to say. G4.
No garrisons, just outposts.
That's outposts in G4. Okay.
Yeah, just a couple outposts. Nothing in the sector, just outside of it, though, with that low village. We've got a recon and a infantry outpost in the low village.
Check our flanks.
Yeah, we're seeing a pretty big infantry presence now coming from the south side of the sector in WN71. They've pushed pretty much to the edge of the village now, and it's just a matter of picking off Syndicate guys through open fields to gain that that ground into the WN71 sector. So I think that this cap progress is going to keep up. And the medium tank that you have on defense is really the last line of defense for Syndicate here.
Yeah, the one crewed by Martin, Krusty, and Lord Jax, but they're surrounded by 116 Inf, and they're just pushing front door. They're not even trying to be too fancy. They're just going straight at Syndicate and just basically winning a majority of the gun battles.
Yeah, and right now all the cap progress is just zone cap. Nobody's in the strong point for 116. They're simply just capping by having more infantry weighted in the soft sector than Syndicate. So if they can keep pushing this this front line and make it into the trench system, I think that this cap will really start going. I'm just going to take a look at the map again to see where we're at here. We've got two heavy tanks in the 6th column, or the 6th row, one of them in G, one of them in F, and they're just going to sit pretty and provide fire support.
Syndicate has no presence, by the way, in G6 in the way of tanks. They have one medium in G5 facing east, but that medium is no match for those two heavies.
Yeah, we're seeing Sangir's Tiger now. He used to be stationed up at West Vierville, but since that heavy 76 went down, now he's making his way south. He's going to join the other two heavy tanks in the front line at W71. And he's currently in E5, so he's got a little ways, probably another couple minutes before he reaches the front line with the rest of the team. But infantry is just holding what's remaining in West Vierville off. They've got a full squad at the G3 square, and they're just closing in on that last set of spawn points that Syndicate has. I don't think that that we're going to see Syndicate making any kind of progress in West Vierville anytime soon. And we're only like 2 or 3 minutes away from 116 starting to really push that front line forward into WN71. As soon as that third tank shows up, I think it's going to be kind of over for that 4th point.
Yeah, let's just talk about, 116th showing up and just being the bullies that they are. They're really, really playing well of late. And I don't know, I think Esprit, which is current #1, is probably, I wouldn't say they're worried, but Esprit is really gunning for this tournament. Pep, I don't know if you're aware, the only match that they've lost was the final back in March of this year, where they lost 3-2 on Carentan to Extreme Dinosaurs. So I'm wondering, will these two teams meet up in the final? I mean, it's looking like 116th and Esprit are to me, the top teams to beat right now. I mean, they're just running through everybody. I haven't seen these guys really struggle.
Mm-hmm. I mean, looks like Syndicate is kind of holding up a good defense here. Like they're hanging on. They're not looking strong right now to me as a defensive line. We're not seeing a lot of coordinated movement here, but they do have another tank, Jumbo 76, just holding the corner of the zone in H4.
You know what I would say too? You got a game plan, but that all changes. It's very fluent when you think you're holding in one area and it gets overrun, then everything has to shift. It's a constant ebb and flow. So sometimes you just constantly, you need that communication, because 116th has just got the shift W going and they're just pushing Syndicate and forcing bodies to constantly move around.
Yeah, looks like Syndicate just lost their medium that was holding mid too, and they do have a heavy north of the zone, but it's not anywhere near the soft cap. So I think that we're now seeing 116 show that that coordination is going to start closing in on the zone. Their infantry is going to have the ability to push, because there really is no resistance from the front line on WN71. So your summation that 116 really is the team to beat, I think that's pretty accurate for what I've seen here. I haven't been around for a long time. This is only the second game in the tournament, second round. So we'll see how it turns out, but definitely 116 showing that they're a formidable team, and they took out a Tiger just now though with a airstrike.
Syndicate?
So the Syndicate just took out the 116 Tiger that was pushing the north side right up the middle of the zone.
So you have Pip's Water Park commanding for Syndicate. You know what's crazy? They still haven't fixed the glitchy bombing. I don't know if you're aware. Sometimes the bombing,
yeah, they'll hit and not kill anything.
Like it eats that 250 kilogram bomb like it's lunch. Nothing happens. Yeah. But at least it worked this time.
If it hits in the track or something like that, it just counts as track damage. It doesn't count as body damage. And I mean, we're just seeing that 4th point flicker again, but still 2 heavy tanks on the front line here for 116.
Are they still on that main road?
A recon tank in an open field holding off. Looks like he actually just killed a bunch of his own guys by accident here. But yeah, we're seeing a Greyhound try to hold the line at the south side of the WN71 sector. I'm actually surprised that Greyhounds have not pushed into WN71 yet, being that there's such little armor resistance for them. The infantry for Syndicate really is pulling out all the stops here.
My guess is 116th is comfortable and just sitting on the 3-2 and just waiting for their fuel situation to come up, and
yeah, not wanting to overextend.
Right, and when they got 4 Tigers on the field, then they'll start to press Syndicate's 4th. I mean, why would you press a bad position? I think they're playing it wisely. They just don't, because the distance to cover from West Vierville to WN71 is massive.
Yeah. Now, I know the stream is actually pretty far behind. Looks like we're on the stream, because we have that 30-minute delay. It's just approaching that recap. Looks like it's at 1 hour 13, but scoreboard's still showing 2-2.
I fixed that.
Did you get that sorted out?
Yeah, I sorted it. I sorted it. For some reason, when I hit the button, and I am having some weird delays, like when I'm, hitting my lock on. Sometimes it goes to the rotate, and sometimes it doesn't. So
another Tiger just went down.
Where are we at? Where are we at?
Tiger.
Tell me. Give me a grid.
Yeah, Tiger right in G5.
G5 Tiger.
The edge of the trench. Yeah, the edge of the trench. There.
Gotcha.
They had a Tiger right on the front line, and that has now gone down. We have another Tiger heading up from Crossroads, so it'll be a few minutes before it reaches the front line. But looks like 116 is down to a single heavy tank, and I think that's their only tank that's in the fight right now. So Infantry is looking really solid as a front line for Greyhounds, but the tank situation.
Well, let's talk tank
Syndicate
situation.
Is doing a really good job.
Let's talk tank situation for the moment. Syndicate has a heavy coming off the beach. They've got a heavy up in the G3. They've got a light on a YOLO, but there's also another. So right now, Syndicate has 3 heavies compared to what? Just one for 116?
There's a third heavy just leaving the North HQ for Syndicate, or for 116 right now. So that's George's tank just leaving that A3, and so it's just been spawned in. We got a second heavy in the D5 just getting through Crossroads right now, and that's going to be a while before he reaches the front line. And then there is one tank in E5 just kind of hanging back behind the infantry and trying to hold that middle sector for Greyhounds. So I mean, we are seeing 3 heavies, but that's it. No light tanks, no medium tanks driving around, no recon vehicles.
I'll say this much then. It's a wash right now because Syndicate has 3 heavies, 116 has 3 heavies. So we're looking like we're just crossed the halfway mark. And I don't know. Does it
yeah, I mean, we are seeing that cap progress from the soft cap on WN71, but I think the Syndicate is doing okay. Like they just, I mean, they're contesting. They just need one more body hanging back in the strong point, and they can focus on getting a foothold in the north side again. If they can get their tanks up and together in that north side, get a few spawn points up there, some OPs. I think that their Jumbo 76 by Super Stupor is a little overextended until that second heavy shows up with them, but he does have some infantry in front of him, so he's doing okay. If Nova and Titus can get across those fields and get a foothold in the north side of West Vierville, it's pretty well wide open. There's only the commander hanging back in that mid sector right now, and the rest of the ones.
Does Syndicate know that? If they do,
I don't think they do. I mean, 3 guys just spawned in G9R, so we do have like a small infantry resistance on that north side. Oh, here we go, a Stuka coming in on
maybe
the
Novas.
76, and it just misses. Kills the squad leader on top of the tank, damaged the Jumbo 76, but it's still alive. That's I mean, really good for Syndicate because it's going to be 15 minutes before the commander can do that again, and there really is no other pressure on that heavy tank. So Super Stupor and Bob getting out and repairing the tank. They're going to keep that there. If Syndicate can keep this pressure up, looks like 116 is starting to pull more infantry back into the West Vierville. Titus made his way up, and he is in the village now. He just
completely surrounded. He needs to just chill, park the bus, and just relax. I mean, don't get too crazy. I wouldn't engage too many people.
Yeah, G9R up on the roof. I don't think Titus sees him. He's right above him, but does not see him, and he's going to be able to look down now, and there he goes. Kills the squad leader. Smilk inside the house, but
Satchel.
I think that we got Level an OP 9 in the orchard.
Yeah.
Bjorny is just going to sit on that with his MG. Yeah, but at least it's something. We got some infantry pushing that West Vierville point. So we got soft cap progress on WN71 still. I don't think 116 is in too much of a panic, but if Luca gets his OP up there, and they got a couple infantry OPs pushing the point, they got their tanks backing up that infantry. I think that 116 might just fall asleep on that West Vierville point. They have a huge infantry presence pushing south now. I think that their focus really is turning to WN71. And so if they lose focus on West Vierville and let it slip just enough, I think the timing could be that we might see the fight move back to West Vierville pretty soon. But I think Artie is another huge contributor here.
Where are the tanks? I think that is going to be the contributor to what the push is.
2 heavy tanks on West Vierville for 116, so not a lot of infantry presence there, but 2 heavy tanks. And so I think that they're just holding that front line. I mean, the front line looks pretty solid between West Vierville and WN71. Most of the infantry is down in WN71, but they are keeping that defensive.
Get ready, here it comes, Pepper. It's happening.
You seeing
the inf push is real.
Yeah.
Syndicate is wiped. They're really boxed in, really, really tough right now. Even if they were to counter, I just don't think with the position they're in that they're going to be able to hold off 116 for too much longer.
And we got Viking, kill switch, and bullet. Bullet. Yeah, I mean, they're holding that south side. Still have several squad leaders at WN71. Bombing run taking out lots of the 116 infantry across their front lines. So, I mean, I'm not seeing 116 push in and take WN71 anytime soon.
Are you sure about that?
They are keeping the pressure on, but I don't think that they have the armor support they're going to need to take the zone. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4 squad leaders now on the defense, with all 4 of those squads OPs holding West Vierville. So I think that the fight is starting to gain some momentum back at West Vierville. Syndicate just needs to kind of recognize that they do have a foothold there and put a little bit more pressure on.
Kale's about to take out the light by Viking. He's just waiting for the right moment to peek out. Unless he doesn't have one, he only has one left. He's got one in. Here he comes. He's prepping, lined up, and boom. What patience, beautiful play. Takes out the light tank.
Yeah, Super Stupor is backing his tank up now because we do have those 2 heavies. That Tiger taking shots at him, and we are seeing these tanks trade rounds. There is another Jumbo 76 who got a shot off on the Tiger. Tiger kills the Super Stupor's tank, Jumbo 76.
Something just
that
popped
gets
off
traded
in the
with
north.
another Jumbo. Lord Jax's tank takes out the Tiger.
Where are you,
They just
brother?
traded.
Where are you, brother?
We just
You gotta
saw
give me some-
heavy tanks trade at West Vierville. So
Okay.
that's where the fight is, I
All
think, is West Vierville is back in action.
You
Not
got to
enough
let me know,
infantry.
my guy. I got to know where you're talking because you're just flying in that camera.
There's
So you're
not-
just going. I'm just like, where is homie? Homie needs to tell me where he's at.
We're up in West Vierville here. I think that there is still a fight up here. Not enough infantry from Syndicate up here. I don't think they're recognizing the pressure they're putting on West Vierville, but I think that's due to the fact that they are losing WN71 from the soft cap. What I would like to see is a few more good MG placements on the defense at WN71 to hold the open fields
True.
and not let 116
seeing-
infantry pressure them too much.
I'm not seeing a whole lot of MG anywhere. In fact, the usual guys, I'm going to say, Robo, worst guitarist, excuse me, and Robert. Those are your 3 top MGs, and I'm just not seeing them in buildings to help support the inf and hold lanes. So yeah, I don't think they're gonna get that wish to help fight off this 116 imp, because right now they are literally, I'm thinking, minutes away from touching the cliff edge. We can see that's already happening to the south in the 6.
There is a garrison near Nova, Shaytax, and Sir Broken Knight. That garrison is really what's holding them all together right now on the defense. There's a few OPs in front of it, but the 116 infantry is starting to really put pressure on that mid-section. Pan just
whacked the... He took out the infantry in Sir
still
Broken
up there,
Knight
though.
instead of the garrison, but a fresh spawn of imps
Looks
just
like
came in.
Flare from Flint Sky just went up too, and they're going to see just how far forward the 116 infantry is. And that cap progress is slowly approaching half, but it is being contested as we got a couple of guys spawning in.
Down goes
at
garrison.
WN71. Something that is concerning to me here for 116, for Syndicate, is 116 has GH Newbie, squad leader. He's now on the cliff edge, and so he's fully wrapped that south flank all the way to
Whammo
the
garrison.
here.
Just wait for it. It's coming.
Yeah. Oh, big spawn wave on a garrison really close to this
That's
guy
where they're
here.
pushed, and you know what? Noob sees it. Newbie sees it. There'll be a rocket on that garrison in no time. Once that happens, WN71 is in play, big time.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh, there's a spawn wave on the OP. See if that gets noticed by the Syndicate team. But that OP right there, if it doesn't get taken out, could be really, really a thorn in the side for Syndicate and their defense on WN71. Meanwhile, lots of 116 infantry now pushing up the middle. I think that garrison in the field is gone. So 116 definitely starting to push the momentum forward, and we haven't seen a whole lot happening at West Vierville in the north side now.
You're not gonna.
Looks like only one squad up there,
This is
so
a
that's
full,
not enough presence.
This is a full defensive reset just to hold the 3-2 and maybe live to fight a little longer, because right now, I don't know, Syndicate's still holding tough and not too bad. There's a couple inf in the north 3, but this is a full, you're over 50% capped. You've got less than a minute to go before you lose and go down 1-4, and now you're coming off the beach, and we know coming off the beach is almost GG. You're not getting back up on top of that cliff. So this is everything right now. This is the whole game right now.
That's right, and it looks like Newbie is just waiting to place his new OP on the low ground down near the beach, post Alf's.
They're ready to run him out.
Alt guy moving up on that medium tank. We're on the beach right behind WN71. We've got an assault player, post Alps, just planted a satchel on the Sherman medium tank. So the armor support that Syndicate had is going to be gone real soon. And again, that newbie, GH newbie, that flank OP, getting around that south side and pushing past the cliff edge, that's huge. And so the defense for Syndicate, I think, is about to fold as soon as that satchel goes off, and there it goes, medium tank gone. And they're all just clustered in on the strong point in the trenches, and they've been completely surrounded by 116th Infantry. They are trying from Dog White to establish a south flank hold again, but I think 116 is going to close in and start taking WN71 real soon.
You know, Syndicate is play hard. They're not going to quit. They played tough. They lost, I believe, 4-1. I can't remember the team. Same map. They're dogs. They're gonna continue to fight. They're not gonna just let you wipe them out. But it's starting to, pressure starting to mount. These guys are not in positions. They're fighting to get in positions. Guys are taking roles and kits that they're normally not used to. Like, I can tell you, Kill Switch is a great shooter. But when he's got an MG in his hand, that's generally not his preferred position. Artillery just shitting all over the inf. So I'm not. Yeah, they're completely. They're separated. Nobody's really together. The line is thin, whereas you can see 116 is spawning in heavy in 8-7, and they're just going to get to the beach.
Yeah, I mean, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 outposts in that H6, H7 area. They really have moved the line. Like, if you look at the, I mean, WN71 strong point is right at the back edge of the sector. So 116, being that they're already starting to push into that strong point now, they're really close to it. They're within 100 meters. They've moved the front line past the middle of the soft cap sector. So you're going to have to push them back almost 300 meters. You're going to have to push the whole front line back 300 meters just to clear them out of the soft cap. And all of the Syndicate spawns are in the I column at this point, I think.